Hello everyone, I'm the Unconventional Grandma bringing you a Harvest Right unboxing. On April 26th, I ordered my first Harvest Right freeze dryer. I was in shock when it showed up on May 13th, Friday the 13th. I thought, what could go wrong? Absolutely nothing went wrong. We had an awesome FedEx freight driver. He dropped it off and we brought it into the house. It was strapped onto a pallet. These are the two boxes that were strapped together. When you unbox yours, you will need scissors to cut those straps, to cut the tape on this top box, and you will be in business of unboxing your freeze dryer to do all the wonderful foods that you want to eat and experience. So today, I have my medium 4-tray freeze dryer. On the bottom and on the top, I have all the accessories. Before you unbox your freeze dryer, make sure you inspect the boxes. Make sure they're not dented. If they're dented, then you want to open them before you sign to make sure that you don't have any damage going on. Mine had a small thing in the front. It did not go through because there's lots of packaging on these things to protect them. And I'm sure that it's going to be in perfect tip-top shape. So this top box here has all your accessories. This is where you're going to find your vacuum pump. This is the Premier pump. Your Mylar heat sealer. You're going to have your Mylar bags that come with it and your oxygen absorbers. Your manual. Your vacuum pump and your extension cord to plug in, your power cord, and your oil for your pump. Now, for me, I have to bring this downstairs to my basement. I have to truck it across the house, down the stairs and across the house. That's going to take me a few minutes, and when we get down there, we'll show you the machine and we'll get it set up. See you there. Welcome to my freeze drying basement. Now that we've got our machine down here, we can revel in the fact that we're going to make some delicious foods, and then we can start opening the boxes. So now there's a tape seam here. Don't bother with that, because if you do, you might damage your machine. Just lift the outer covering off and okay, now we can see I purchased a white medium freeze dryer from Harvest Right. It was packaged so nicely. I had a little damage on the outside box. Nothing to worry about because they have foam and cardboard and lots of packaging. And this is going to be great to fill up my dumpster. So now you can see the freeze dryer unit from Harvest Right. It comes with a beautiful door that's acrylic, very durable. You do not want to scrub on it and use cleaners on it because you'll scratch it and it will be kind of ugly if you do. Then you can take off the outer seal. This is the outer seal that makes sure that there's a seal so that your food can dry properly. This is the tray holder, and it has a place for each one of your trays, and it just slides right out, and you can see that it has a plug-and-play attachment so you can remove it entirely. You can clean it easily. You can clean the inside of the tub easily, and then you can just slide it right back in. So then we'll place our trays there. The orange heat element goes to the top, and then the trays slide right in. My model came with 4 trays. They're stainless steel. They're a little smaller than I expected, but it's going to hold up to 10 pounds of food per cycle. they slide right in here. And then you can, whoops, you got to put the seal back on. Without the seal, it's not going to work. You want to go around the seal, make sure it's nice and tight. And then you can close your door and latch it. This right here is your computer readout, your module for controlling everything. Then in the back here, you have your on-off switch, your plug for your pump, and an outgoing pump, plug, power cord for your outlet. So let's show you what those look like. Okay, here's your on-off switch, your pump plug, and your electrical plug. This is your power cord, and it's going to go right here. This is your premier pump. It's going to plug into the other socket next to your power cord. Your pump does not get plugged into the wall. So, on this side, we have this black cover, and it is covering the vacuum line. So we need to take our vacuum hose, and our vacuum hose has two sides that are same size. Doesn't matter which side goes on this side. And we're going to just hand tighten it so that we get a good vacuum. And then this side will go to your pump. Now, we're going to turn the machine around, because on this side you have your water line, your drain hose. It comes with a plastic bag sealed. I removed that. You want to check and make sure there isn't any debris in the machine, and then you're going to attach your drain line so that when your machine defrosts, that drain line will go into a bucket, and then when it's done defrosting, you'll empty the bucket periodically. And a side note for that is, do not let that hose go to the bottom of your bucket. It cannot touch the bottom, because it will, after running, it will siphon up the water into your machine, and then it causes damage, and it's a bad problem. So don't let it siphon the water from the bucket into the machine. So this is all that's needed to get your machine running, except for the pump. The pump is what makes it work. This machine comes with the premier pump. The pump is pretty heavy. This is the pump. This is the filter. You unscrew this. Your oil will go in here. You'll fill it to the halfway mark. This is your power cord that will get plugged into the back of your unit. I am not the mechanical genius that my family is. So let me, come on. It's there. Okay, it's not harvest right. It's just me. So we have our power cord. We'll plug this to the back of the machine. And then you have to plug your machine into a standard 110 outlet. My basement has GFI switches everywhere. My kitchen has GFI switches everywhere. The reason I brought it to my basement is because my GFI outlets are not interconnected. So they each one act individually. So I can put a new socket in and then plug my machine into that. My kitchen, they're all interconnected, and it would have been an electrical nightmare to just redo my entire kitchen. So that's why we brought it to the basement. My electrical engineer is going to come in the next little bit. He's going to install a new outlet, and then we'll get this machine running and show you what a test cycle looks like. See you then. And now we're back. My electrician has installed my new outlet that is a non-GFI outlet. It's a 20 amp, so that if you do the recommended 15 amp, you take a chance that the circuit could get blown and interrupt your cycles. So we went with a 20 amp circuit. This was the vacuum hose that we attached. It's now attached to the pump. The on-off switch. We can now turn our machine on now that we have it plugged into our non-GFI circuit. Here's your display screen to show the operation of your machine. And everything has been hooked up. You are ready to go. The first cycle that you will do is a bread run. You do the bread run so that your bread will absorb all the chemicals and smells and things that are in the machine that you don't necessarily want in your food. So here are some tips for when you order your Harvest Right machine. First of all, when you order your freeze dryer, it could take up to 6 to 8 weeks. Mine did not take quite as long, so I did not have my tables ready. So now I have a stainless steel table to put my machine on so that it's movable and I can work with it easily. It provides lots of air circulation so your machine can have proper ventilation for your cycles. When you do your freeze run, I bought 4 loaves of bread. I did not anticipate it was a smaller tray, so I thought that 1 loaf might fit on each tray. To my surprise, 1 loaf is what it takes to fill all the trays. So I have extra bread. If you don't want extra bread, just buy 1 loaf. My next tip is to have some kind of a small plastic container that you can put under the door. When you do your freeze drying runs or batches, your door will have condensation on it. It will drip into the pan. The next thing that you have to ensure is that you have picked a location that is not too hot, not too cold. So if it's too hot, get yourself a small air conditioner, portable unit that's not too costly. Put a fan in the room. Do something to equalize the temperature for the recommended temperatures in the handbook. The next thing that I would advise you to do is get yourself a stainless steel spatula. This is great so that when your batches are something that was liquid, you can scrape it out easily, and you can tell if your batch is fully dried because you will develop a sticky coating of whatever you're drying on your spatula, which indicates that it's not thoroughly dried. The next item I would have here is a
funnel so that if you're storing your freeze-dried materials in a glass jar or even in the bags, it's easy to pour from your trays or a bowl, whatever you have put your dried materials in, into your final container. If you follow all these tips and tricks, I'm sure you're going to love your freeze dryer as much as I love mine. Make sure you have a bucket for your drainage, make sure you have your accessories, and happy freeze drying. Now that we have finished our bread run, you can subscribe to the Unconventional Grandma channel for more tips, tricks, and content. See you there.